Hello, everyone. It's another beautiful day in the universe. How are you? Looks like we're still in the Lionsgate energy, and it's going to be over in the next couple of days. Wondering how you're feeling out there with this beautiful Lionsgate energy of more intuition, of being higher in vibration, I think, because I've been actually feeling much more higher in vibration, I think, in spite of, my detox stuff I'm still going through. So, I don't know what you've been feeling, but I think the Lionsgate, I have felt some of that Lionsgate energy of thrusting me a bit higher. Now, it may be different for everyone. I think everyone depends on what other stuff you have in your vibration and how low you are in the vibration versus how high you are in vibration, what difference that Lionsgate energy might make for you. And also, I've worked with a beautiful woman, Anahata, to help us with our, to help us harness the Lionsgate energy in water. So I've been sipping on that as well. And it's been wonderful. And she's the waterbender out there, the beautiful Anahata. And today, though, I am wanting to talk to you a little bit about empaths and the whole being sensitive, because I have, heard so many complaints from different empaths about being too sensitive, feeling too much, being overwhelmed in crowds, and I have to tell you that there is a huge difference between, and this is coming from a healer perspective, there's a huge difference between being sensitive as an empath, as a gift, and being sensitive, okay, and feeling too much. And I'm going to try to explain that difference to you so that you can understand that you don't have to be an empath and suffer, okay? So there is the being sensitive, which is the gift. Some people are so confused about this whole thing. They think it's a curse as well as a gift. It's not. It's a gift that you have, and you don't have to, like I say, experience the suffering aspect of it. So the first part is being sensitive, the fact that you're sensing somebody else and where they're at and perhaps what they might be feeling. For me, it appears, and I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, it appears as a knowing, a sensing, a knowing, okay? Sort of a distant one, okay? Then there is sensing or sensitive, or too sensitive, when you're actually feeling and it's actually affecting you, all right? And that happens as a result of the other person triggering you into your own unresolved pain. And that happens on a very subconscious level, and it's very difficult to distinguish between which sensitive you're actually experiencing, unless you have gone through the process of actually integrating that unresolved pain, and you've experienced the situation before and you've experienced the situation after, where you can feel the difference, okay? Because what happens is when somebody else triggers us into our own unresolved pain, and it happens all very subconsciously, we then can re-experience the low vibration emotions that are stuck in that unresolved experience that we still carry. And that is where your anxiety comes from, where your overwhelm comes from, and it's usually accompanied by kind of have a heavy energy, okay? And, it could be a slew of other emotions in it. Sadness, perhaps anger, or whatever. There could be a number of things. And also, you can actually re-experience physical pain, meaning that if you were triggered into, say, an experience that where you had hurt yourself, you hurt your knee or something, and that experience isn't fully integrated, then you may actually experience knee pain. Okay. So as an empath, you may look at the situation such that you're seeing a person that has, is in a wheelchair. Perhaps they have pain in their leg. All of a sudden you start having pain in your leg, and you're thinking, okay, you're feeling the pain of the other person's leg. And really what they're doing is they're triggering you into, even could be a past lifetime when you were in a car accident or also wound up in a wheelchair where you had leg pain, and it turns it on and you actually were experiencing that pain. So it's really not their pain you're experiencing, but it's your pain you're experiencing, and you don't have a clue that it's yours because it happens on such a below the conscious level area that you can't distinguish unless you've been through the healing process and understand it as thoroughly as I do. Okay. Because I've been doing this stuff for 15 plus years now, and I get the difference. And sometimes I am confused about it too, even though I know better. So, when you're in it, it's hard to see clear also. It lacks clarity when you're actually in it. And, it's so easy to blame the other person because they in essence triggered us, or we put the responsibility on the other person because they triggered us. So we're thinking they did it to us. They are causing us to feel this because they're feeling it. It's so easy to do that. And yet it may not be true at all, because all they're doing is triggering your stuff and you're actually feeling your stuff. So my tip for the day to empaths is to know thyself, know your triggers. Okay, understand what triggers are. Understand that there's a difference between being sensitive and then being affected by your emotions or your own emotional sensitivity. Okay, one is your gift. The other one is basically your unresolved stuff. They're coming from a very different place. Okay, and number two tip is, what can you do about this, right? So there's two things you can do. One is a more temporary solution, which is you can disconnect from the situation. So in other words, you walk away from the person that has the knee pain or whatever, and you start thinking about other things. You start looking around, you disconnect from it mentally. And so therefore you all of a sudden, those symptoms start subsiding. Usually takes about 3 days for those symptoms to actually subside. But it's a more temporary solution because ultimately you can get re-triggered again because that unresolved pain is still there. The second solution you can do is you can actually heal or get rid of the trigger, and by healing or properly integrating the unresolved pain through some professional healing. All right. And that is a permanent solution, because if you don't have a trigger, you're not going to get triggered. And guess what? As the more of you healing this unresolved pain that you're carrying that can get triggered, the more you'll find yourself in your power. Because whenever you get triggered by life or other people, it pulls you into that weakness of your pain. And that's where you're experiencing all the low vibration emotions, all the fear, the anxiety, the sadness, the depression, whatever, anger, etc., etc. All right. When you don't have that, then you're not experiencing it, and you can maintain in your power, because you can't be in two places at one time. You can't be in your power and at the same time in your pain. You're not in your power when you're in your pain. So, the more you heal this unresolved stuff, the more you maintain your own power and your calmness and your neutrality and objectivity, and the more you can actually get out there and help the world. It's kind of difficult to get out there and serve. And I know you empaths, that's your, probably your life purpose, to get out there and use your gifts and to help other people. But you have to help yourself first, or at the same time at least, and get yourself in that position where you're not hobbling on one leg through life, and you can actually be of service. And to do so, you have to take care of you. And so those are my tips for you. Know thyself, know your triggers, understand the difference between your sensitive, your gift, and sensitive being affected by your own stuff as you get triggered by life, by people, etc. Okay? And then do something about it. Now you know what to do about it, because you can be in a powerful position as an empath and you can do a world of good. And on that note, I also want to talk to you a little bit about, I am hosting a 6-week shadow work journey with Ariel Quantum Healing and Sacred Teachings to basically help you, put yourself into that better position. You'll basically learn about your triggers, your shadows, how to read the reality mirror and really understand that inner part of you and work through that, as well as receive some of that professional healing through guided healing meditations. And you'll get a good number of them. It's priced very nicely for you to be able to get a number of good healings, as well as the information to really work through some of this information, really understand it well, understand yourself well. And also we'll do a one group mastermind group where you can directly, we get questions and answers and perhaps a demo healing in there, and to help you really understand these concepts I'm talking about. And you're not too late if you haven't signed up yet. And I still have the early bird special on, which is going to go on probably for another, maybe a week or so. So I hope you can join us, and I hope this makes sense. I hope this is helpful to you. If so, please let me know underneath the video if you liked it. And I love you, and you guys have a wonderful day.